And I think we're live.
Hey Rich, how you
Hey,
doing?
all right. How are you? It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday, and we are in November. Can you imagine that? How amazing that is? The year
No-
went on so fast, right?
Yeah, November, and in the U.S., the election cycle's over for a little bit. Although it's going to pick up very quickly because we're going into the midterm now election, so
Mhm.
it's going to be a nasty one, I think. But at least we got a little bit of time before we start seeing all the nasty ads and stuff like that. I don't know if you've ever seen how bad they can get it
Oh
here in
my God.
America, but oh,
Yes.
it's really bad. So
Here it gets bad as well.
okay, so you have similar then. Okay,
Yes, yes. That's a huge problem from my perspective. And Australia did something amazing about this. So individuals and companies, they can only donate $10,000, maximum, you know.
right,
That way they keep the fairness and obviously the lobby behind the political campaigns. So and I believe something needs to be done regarding the use of social platforms because whoever has the most money will win at the end of the day,
exactly.
because that's what they do. All right.
So we have some really good though topics here today. I think this is a one that will get some good attention and pull in some good excitement and hopefully create some good conversation. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And today we're going to talk about the value of being awake. We're going to discuss this topic throughout the this live stream. So make sure to engage with us, send your questions, comments, so we can adjust and hear you guys out, throughout. And obviously, like you already know, we will have the time where we can engage, through corners. So it's going to be amazing. It's all about the gratitude, the attention, and the imagination in the age of AI. Right
exactly.
now, we're going to a path that we have never seen before. What are your thoughts around this, Rich? Whenever we talk about this.
Well, I mean, AI is always a big topic to begin with, but then it's also around like, the conversation that we've been talking about having that um, kind of paying attention to things around us because with AI it can easily you get to a point where you could just let it start kind of thinking for you, and we don't want that. We want to build on that. So those are things that we have to really focus on and learn from. But then the other side is imagination. I mean, and how does AI fit into that? Because there are things that AI can do. Does it help you? Does it hinder you? Same thing with your attention. Does it help you? Does it hinder you? So these are all things that we just wanted to kind of talk through, think through, and what we're saying, we're just it's just our thoughts. It's not necessarily a full opinion or anything like that, but it's our thoughts at the time.
Yeah, we're just thinking out loud over here. We're not saying what's right, what's wrong. We're not giving out, suggestions on what you should do regarding AI. And from my point of view as well, I believe there's a lot of speculations, and AI is going to evolve a lot. This is the tip of the iceberg. Uh, for example, we are seeing like all sorts of things. We're seeing the hype, and I was just reading earlier today on BBC, the trader called Michael Burry. The guy who was around the Big Short, and the real estate bubble back in
Mhm.
2008. He's shorting AI, so he's creating this whole hype around AI as well. So he's shorting Nvidia and all those tech companies behind AI, so who's right and who's wrong? We will never
Exactly.
know. Only the future will tell. And on the other side, we have been seeing a lot of amazing uses of AI, And on the other side as well, we're seeing a lot of regulations around it. So they're trying to pass a bill, for example, so AI cannot give health tips, cannot give like cannot be a lawyer, cannot give this kind of assistance, so
Wow.
this all everything new, it's all about regulations. It's trial and error as well, so we're gonna see a lot of sloppy things, like the Deloitte report that we comment, last week.
Yep.
So just for a bit of context, the Australian government sued Deloitte because of a report that they gave out, and Deloitte affirmed that they use AI to build it and has some wrong reference that didn't even exist. So whenever the government went through the report and kind of double checked everything, they were like, whoa, some of the references don't even exist, so what's
Mhm.
going on? And then the lawyer said, oh, just some errors that we got from the AI that we use to review the document and build the structure and like it's totally fine. Humans also make those kind of mistakes, so I believe people sometimes are going too hard on AI. So like, oh my God, this is unacceptable. But humans, they commit those
Mhm.
kind of mistakes as well, so what's wrong with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I even found a typo in my AI today. It
Really?
typed everything out right except for one letter, and I'm like going, "Did you are you doing this to tease me or something like that?" And it
Yeah.
said, "Even machines make mistakes." I'm like, "Okay."
Mm. All right, that's what's up,
That's what's up,
that
yeah.
and that's good, yeah.
But yeah,
All
it's
right,
so
so
oh,
let's
go ahead.
go for it.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
uh you know I would say that attention is our new currency, because from my perspective, obviously, like everyone out there, creators and journalists and stuff like that, uh, right now we have seen uh, a shift in the content creating curve,
Mhm,
So a year ago, the majority and around 50% from the data that I saw of the content on the internet was generated by humans. Right now, we have seen the inflection on the curve. So the curve kind of did an X, so the human generated content dropped and the AI machine generated content spiked, So right now, from my perspective, the new currency is going. So let me reframe my statement. Uh, Back in the days, content was gold. Let's put it that way.
mhm,
And let's talk about like back in the days whenever blogs were around. We didn't have the kind of platforms that we have today, and then we evolved to Facebook, for example. And Facebook brought like the articles kind of posts and stuff like that, and Instagram came around with images, and a lot of people, the young people, will now remember that, but I do. Whenever
mhm,
Instagram came around, a lot of people were like, who's gonna want to post their personal lives, and now it is what it is. And LinkedIn, and now Substack, and we have Twitch and all those kind of things. So whenever we see the engagement type curve, we see it also evolving with the technology. So the smartphones are evolving, the desktop notebooks, iPad devices are also evolving. So right now, we're from my perspective, we're moving past the scrolling kind of passive engagement to a more active engagement. We see
mhm,
platforms such as Substack, for example, thousands of people from all over the world doing live streams like we're doing right now,
mhm,
on Twitch. Even kids, like live streaming, doing live gameplays, talking to their friends, and we started seeing all those different kind of environments where leads us to this question: attention is the new gold, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, it is definitely the new gold. I mean, because I if you can't get their attention, you've lost pretty much everything right there. So
Yeah.
you want to keep them in essence hooked to whatever you're doing. So that's the goal at this point in the world. But if you can't keep that attention, you're going to quickly flounder.
Yeah. And I believe another great behavior that from my perspective is contributing to it is a few things. First, work environments. Right now people are 90% of the work employees right now, they are looking for a hybrid kind of environment, so they're okay going to the office, but they also want, it's not an option, like they want to also be able to work from home sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the kind of vibe that we're getting from that work environment. Another thing, on Europe, for example, and in the United States as well, it's already a reality. A lot of companies are doing the 4-day a week
Mm-hmm.
work structure, so they are shortening a day. Why? Because we're being able to deliver so much more with all the tech that is available right now, so obviously work-life balance. Let's not forget the structure that a lot of the traditional companies have today was implemented during the Henry Ford, during the Industrial Revolution, where the more time that you work, the more you get done. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, it doesn't correlate, I can do sometimes stuff that I used to take like 8 hours. I can do in an hour right now, So I believe all of this is contributing to this life balance. We have more time to connect, more time to be focused on something, Make
Exactly.
sense? What do you think about this? Like, I'm
Yeah.
just
No.
like, whoa.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, the 4-day week is a big thing for a lot of people now,
Mhm.
and that work life balance is where it's really at. So that's why people want to work from home on some days, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little easier just to do the things you need to do and still be
Mhm.
productive with work for the day. Like not having to worry about, oh my gosh, I got to get through traffic and get home. Like when you're in those types of modes and you're thinking only thinking about what you have to do after work, you're going to be slower and less productive. But if you can be home on those types of days, you're not going to be thinking that way. You're going to be focused on your work, and then when the end of work comes, you can go do what you need to do. And that's the value of that flexibility, and that's what people really want, is they want the flexibility.
Yeah. And I love what you said. And it popped me a thought of gratitude, about this as well, because it opens a tons of possibility. For example, for those who doesn't know, I'm in Brazil, Rich in Philadelphia. We are a business partner. We are like literally, we have a company together and we haven't never met in person, so that's amazing. For some people, they're like, oh my God, but how you can trust each other, how can you guys work together? But that's the magic of it,
Mhm.
whenever you have a system, a culture, and the mentality that is possible, the magic happens. So, long story short, me and Rich are co-founders, of Kornerz. We have a company together. We all have stakes on it. We have investors back in the company, and we have people from all over the world also working with us. People that
Mhm.
we have not met in person, but with the right technology, we are connected in ways we're like there's no limitation, regarding the physical space and where we are in the world. We have people in Poland, we have people in UK, people all over the United States, even in Pakistan, and here we are, it's working and it's been amazing, right? So that's gnarly, right?
Yeah, It is, and even with all the distance between us all over the world here, we work like we're in the same place, and that's the beauty of video
Exactly.
and the chat ability, and that's kind of what what we what I think is a key thing, and where we're going to see a lot of technology going toward is this live video chat type environments where people can work easier together, and that's where Corners is coming in, where we can have those live conversations with each other and not
Exactly.
be just scrolling through or like we're doing right people are doing right now, watching someone on screen. Well, it's nice and it's good, but wouldn't it be nice if we could do that interaction where we could actually talk with the audience and have that back and forth? That would be the cool part, and that's where I think technology is going to head next. And Corners is already starting to do that.
Yes. And it's also thanks to technology because remember like 5 years ago or something, whenever somebody said like, hey, let's do a video call, like everyone was like, uh, not really, because the experience wasn't the best,
Yeah.
It was clunky, it crashed, instabilities, and all sort of things. It was like, sorry for the word, was sometimes a pain in the ass, to kind of do those kind of things. And can you
Mhm.
imagine doing room full of people, right now with technology? Oh my God, with one click, boom,
Yeah.
you connect with people all over the world, no lags. Can you see this? I'm in Brazil, Rich is in Philadelphia, no lags, nothing,
Mhm.
works perfect. And I believe with that kind of technology, that's the kind of experience we are able to deliver, with all
Mhm.
these different platforms. Everyone, doing their things, sustaining journalists, creators, entrepreneur, businesses, and so on. And obviously, we have Corners, leading the way on those kind of experience. And it's funny because, remember we met in a nuke last night, and
Mhm.
Michi, this great guy from Atlanta, joined us, and we asked him like, hey, how's your experience so far? And he's like, you remember his comment,
Mhm.
Rich?
Yeah, he was excited with it all, and really enjoyed how we could have these live conversations and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
and
And
then
he
and then we
mentioned
had
like,
Stefan come in from Mexico, so we
yes,
had people come all over the place. So
and that's amazing. And Mitch, feedback, it's exactly what we're looking for regarding the experience that we want to deliver, because it's not about what's best or what's right or what's wrong, which is simply different. We're delivering a new kind of experience, and it's really designed around these real conversations. And Red and Michi, he's a creator. He's all around fashion, he's about culture. He's from Atlanta. He's leading the way regarding styles and everything. He has this massive following count around, different social media accounts, and he said, like, straight up, like, hey, I cannot find this experience that I'm finding in Corners anywhere else. Like, hey, just jump in a video call with this people, that in what world would I have the opportunity to jump in this kind of experiences? No, it's not a live, it's not a classroom, it's not a live stream, it's a cozy coffee table kind of experience.
exactly. Exactly. And you say about 5 or 6 years ago, it wasn't there. It was there, but it was very expensive. I when
Yeah.
I was when I worked at DaVita, we had the technology to do
Mhm.
conversations that were pretty decent and high resolution, but it cost probably at least $1,000 an hour to do one of those video calls. So, it was not cheap, and
It was, yeah.
yes, if you have a big group of people back and forth, it might be saving you from travel, but still not cheap.
Still not cheap. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And right now it's cheap. The UX is getting better every day. UX is the
Mhm.
user experience for those that doesn't know, and that's the contracts that we are seeing, the attention economy versus the human connection, you know.
Exactly.
Content is not gonna die. The same way TV didn't die with social media, because a lot of people, whenever social media start booming, YouTube and this and that, everyone said, "Oh my God, the streamings and whatever," everyone said, "Oh my God, TV is gonna die." No, it's not going to die. The same thing with content. Content's not going to die. It's going to still be around. The same way that the vinyl discs still around. So right now we're just able through technology to experience better human connections.
Exactly. And then the other thing with when we talk about AI and getting into the conversations and stuff like that is how our mind can wander and how imagination works, and how can AI help with those things, or will it hinder those things? Because if we rely on AI so much, will we lose those capabilities, or will we strengthen those capabilities? What do you think, Leo?
I think that's a great question, and I believe depends on the framework. If either is for, first of all, personal use, professional use. Because like we said, the same knife that you can use to pass the butter on your bread, you can use to stab someone. You know, or you can use to harm yourself. So I believe it's the same thing with AI. Depending on what you're doing, what you're looking for, what kind of prompts are you given, what where your goals with it. And AI is going to deliver.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think if it's used properly, and this is the key thing for
Yeah,
for majority of people, I'm hoping they're going to use it properly, but they do need to learn it, and once you learn it, you can then use it really strong, and I think
exactly.
it will actually help with creativity. I find it
Of
actually
course.
gives me a lot of creativity ideas, and that it gives me like almost like a sounding board, and I can build on that, and then it comes back and it gives me another sounding board of information. And I go, oh yeah, I
Yeah,
like that. Then I build on that. So it's very helpful in creativity. And I think has that imagination going. But one thing I will say, even though AI can give you that support in it, it's not always about able to do it on its own. You have to work with it to get it to do that type of work. So it's about having that sounding board versus having it just do the work. And so as long as you're, I think, actively in it, using it from a point of resource for you, you're gonna grow with it, and you're gonna get more focused on the things you're doing and be able to do more than what you could ever do before, because you're freeing up your mind to do the imagination and the
yeah,
creativity side. We get, many of us, we get so hooked into the details of doing whatever we want to do, but we don't then get a chance to really imagine out, or think out, what do we want to do and how do we want to do it. And being able to have that time, I think, is huge. And that's where we're
yeah,
going to see a lot of the change. The jobs that we have today that are going ABC, they're not going to be that way anymore. They're going to be more of a thinking thing, where you go,
yeah,
here's how we're going to do this, here's how this would work, here's what we should make this like. And you can use AI to help be a sounding board to get to that. But then you're going to tell AI what to do, because that's
exactly.
the key thing, because it's more of keeping that focus on the growth and the ideas. And that's where I think AI is going to be in the work industry. It's going to be that sounding board, and in essence, it's going to be those grunt workers that are doing that ABC, but you're going to be there leading it. And that's the key, why people need to take the time, learn AI today, really get a good understanding, because those people who understand it are going to be first in line for the new world when those jobs start coming out.
Exactly. And a few technical details to support that thinking, which I agree as well. It's the AI that we're using today is basically machine learning.
Mhm.
So everything, it's a this huge amount of information that is indexed into, a system which is able to kind of cross this network and information in a more seamless way. So
Mhm.
let's put it in a way, Google, please don't take me wrong, but it's just Google on steroids. Like it's a better user experience, it has a better thinking system,
Mhm.
and what a lot of people don't get, and that's where a lot of them are also freaking out, is AI doesn't have our senses,
Mhm.
so we are able to input the information ourselves. AI needs to be inputted, right? It needs to learn
Mhm.
with something, and us, for example, we can see a challenge, and obviously we are able to create a solution out of thin air, for example,
Mhm.
and AI is still struggling a little bit with the kind of, stuff. So that's where I agree with what you just said, Rich. AI still needs, and I don't see that in the long term, and I don't even
Mhm.
believe at all, AI replacing 100%, human behavior, or stuff that we see on Terminator movies,
Yeah, no, no.
so
AI,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think a lot of people think AI is a brain, and it's not a brain.
it's not a
Does it
brain.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah, it thinks to a point, but it's only using what it has to think with. So it's not fully thinking, but it does think. It just does not have a brain. So it doesn't have
Mhm,
a feeling, a personality, a thought of taking
mhm.
over, a concern of being shut down, unless somebody kind of prompts it that way, and then it might play back with you. So I think like where we've heard those things happen, it's because they were pushing it to try to do something like that. So it said, okay, then I'll give you that, because
Yeah,
that's what AI does. AI likes to please you, not so much in a sense of doing exactly what you say, but it tries to do what you are asking it to do, even if it's in the background of your thoughts, like it can sense, okay, this is what you're trying to say. Let me give you this, so it's all a thought pattern though. It's not a
exactly.
brain. It doesn't know any more than that, so we have to remember that. And I think that's where it's easy to think that it's real and it's alive and everything else, because it is very good about how it talks to you, how it writes for you, how it does everything else for you. But the reality is it's just a reflection of you in many ways, and
Exactly.
that's where I think people forget it. Now, in the work world, I think you're going to see the jobs for the humans are going to be controlling these different things, being in charge of,
Mhm.
and there's going to be thousands of AI jobs out there that are happening, and they're going to need thousands of people to be on top of them because you
Exactly.
know they you want to make sure they continue operating good and strong and fast. So you might have 10 AIs under you, or 10 or 15 AIs under you, because you're managing a workflow.
Exactly.
So that's going to be the change.
Agree. 100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and work is going to grow in many ways for the humans, because it's going to be more creative and um, more. You're going to have more input to the day to day. It's not going to be a go in and you just put in your data entry for the day and you're done. It's going to be a little bit more thinking. But on that same note, you're going to be working very close to the AIs and having them do what you want. So.
Exactly. And to wrap that thought up, let's remember about the Industrial Revolution. Whenever machines came around, humans had more time to focus on other tasks, not
Mhm.
doing no tasks. They just went from doing like this repetitive task to doing strategic tasks. All right, so
Yep.
in this factor, how can we improve? How can we manufacture faster? How can solve this bottleneck? Like
Yep.
thinking something that the machine cannot do because all of the things that we said. And that's the
Yep.
same thing is going to happen with AI. All those repetitive tasks, a lot of they're going to be replaced by AI, and we, all the staff, all the employees, all the workforce will move up into more
Yep.
strategic, more uh, level. Yeah,
Yeah. And it might take a little while for some of these companies to really
definitely.
understand. So you're going to see the layoffs and you're going to see the things like that happening, unfortunately. And that kind of happened back in the industrial revolution because as the new tools came in play, they said, oh, we don't need all these people, not realizing they need people to maintain it. They need people to do the different parts. They had additional tasks that had to be that were more complex. So they grew in their work to do better, but that doesn't mean that they you know that doesn't mean they left it alone or anything like that. They actually grew it and got better with it, and then those jobs started to come back. So they might go away for a little bit, but then new jobs are going to come back, and that's where being really in tune with AI is going to help you, because once those jobs start rolling back, they're going to be focused on, do you know AI? Do you know how to work with AI? Do you know
Exactly.
how to manage it? And that's going to be the trick. So anyone out there, I would highly recommend you going out and uh, downloading any of the AIs, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever, and just play with it. They're all free to start with. You don't need to create an account to do anything other than just get in there and have try ask it some questions, start getting some ideas of what it can do, and just learn it. And you can even ask the chat to give you back, like, how do I use AI, and it will tell you from its own side, how do you use that particular AI. And I will say, every AI system is a little different, and that's how it's going to be out there. Every AI system out there is going to act a little differently because it's how it's in essence programmed.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, and I strongly suggest reach out to Rich. He's I call him the Dumbledore of AI. He taught everything I know about AI, like everything. And I'm very grateful for that. So he's leading the way on the all the usage, assistants, what else, automations, prompts, what works best for what. So reach out to him, and you also have the opportunity to talk to him, in live person, through Corners. Can always connect with him. And actually, we're going to connect in a few minutes, in the lounge. Make sure, if you don't have the app yet, download it on corners.com. The app is available for iOS. It's a paid member only social network, delivering this experience that we talked about. You can join the Nook with us. It's a cozy video chat room limited to 9 people. So it's really like a conversation kind of environment, different from what we have in other social platforms. Is designed to like have a conversation and not a live stream. So that's what's amazing about it. What do you say, Rich?
I
The
say
AI
let's
Dumbledore.
yeah. Well, I am coming out with my AI system, so that'll be the next thing where I'm going to start selling a custom system that you can put into your AI, and it will work with you in your voice, your thoughts, your needs. It will take all that information and become a stronger AI for you. And that's a huge value I have found, to really get the most out of it. So.
And and I seen Rich in action. So everything that he's talking about, this system that he's building up, it's everything that he's using on his day to
Yeah.
day. So
Yeah.
he didn't learn this in a course or whatever. He actually used and developed everything from scratch,
Yeah.
from use cases and, success cases and everything he's doing. So if you want to talk to us, talk to Rich, join us on Corners, reach out to him on his social platforms. And yeah, let's keep going. What do you say, Rich? Let's go to the lounge at Corners.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining, and we look forward to talking to you soon. And if you can't join us on Corners, join us on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we will be doing our next Corners conversation. We look forward to talking to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.